Welcome back, everybody. This is Question Mark,
And I'm Ame, and I don't know how to count.
and we are on part 4 now of the Marvel Superheroes Standard Set Commander Tier List.
That was a lot of adjectives.
Yes, and so far, we have a lot of stuff in here. Although I actually do need to say a couple of things right up front. One, we're going to try to nail 1 hour today, 1 hour recording. So we're that's our pace. And also, I saw the card Hawkeye. I read it again, and I was evaluating it with instead it deals that much damage where X is its power, but not that much damage plus X where X is Hawkeye's power. So I did not realize it was a damage increaser like that. So she's actually going to go up into super.
Yes.
Yay. Okay. That said, we left off last time with Patriot Shield Wielder. What does he do?
Mind bringing up the actual
Oh, sure, to make
page?
it a little easier to read. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
For 1 mana and a white, you get a 2/2 human hero. For 2 mana and a tap, another target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains hexproof until end of turn.
Okay, so this is a sidekick at best. I'm not really going over all of the categories here again. This is part 4. He's a sidekick at best, but is he even a good sidekick? I mean, I'm thinking probably not. No.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he probably fits around here. Because hexproof is good when it's a surprise. It's not a surprise if it's a creature on the battlefield under your control. This is one of many cards that's probably going to be fine in pre-release, in your sealed, in your draft. A 2-mana 2/2 with upside is always going to be a solid, card in your pre-release. But in Commander, this ability is not very relevant. So pass. But keep in mind, of course, we've got a whole lot of uncommon legends in this set, and they're honestly not really designed to be commanders, so...
And that's okay.
Next we have Quake, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., who I don't know. I have not met this character, but there's a meme of a cartoon that's going like, shake it, quake it, booty shake it, or something like that. And I was not familiar with her game, so congratulations. But what does she do?
For 2 mana and a white, you get a 3/3 Inhuman Spy hero. And her ability is Seismic Takedown. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, tap target creature or land.
So tapping is, of course, a euphemism. So tapping a creature is interesting. So if she throws it back whenever you cast a non-creature spell, how good is that? That is okay.
Thoroughly okay.
Thoroughly okay. Definitely don't make this your commander. You're stuck in mono white, and all you're doing is tapping things. That's not very good.
Would be a good addition to a control deck.
Yeah, if your deck is non-creature spell themed, like the Fantastic Four deck is kind of like that, I'm thinking that she goes somewhere around the bottom of sidekicks. Because that deck does have a lot of non-creature spell triggers. Tapping a creature can be great to make it... if you do it at the beginning of combat, you can make a creature unable to attack. If you do it in the middle of combat, you can make a creature unable to block. Tapping somebody's land. I mean, it's rude, but keep in mind that opponents can always tap their permanents in response if they have an activate ability, and pretty much all lands do, so you can't deny them the mana,
Yeah, it's more like poking them with a stick than actually hitting them.
Yeah, it can be good against cards like
More like poking them
Maze
with a straw.
of Ith. Maze of Ith is...
Ooh, yeah.
Actually, you want to read that?
For a tap, you untap a target attacking creature. Prevent all combat damage that creature would be dealt to and dealt by that creature this turn. Basically, they tried to attack you, but they got lost.
Yep. So Maze of Ith is a great land to tap down when you cast a non-creature spell, because, A, it doesn't tap for mana, and even if it could, the main thing that it does is this whole stop a creature that's attacking me thing. So making them use it outside of the opportune moment is useful. But still, sidekick. That's why she qualifies as a sidekick, is because you can actually get quite a few small advantages out of that, and a 3-mana 3/3 is okay. Moving on to Quicksilver Brash Blur, we have a rare this time.
For a single red mana, you get a 1/1 mutant hero. If Quicksilver Brash Blur is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with him on the battlefield. He has haste, obviously, and his power-up move costs 4 mana and a red. You put a 1/1 counter and a double strike counter on Quicksilver.
Okay, so if this guy is your commander, you cannot get his first ability to work. So he'll never be on the battlefield for free at the beginning of the game, but you can make sure that your deck has a red mana source in your opening hand every game. Of course, you're playing mono red. You go Mountain, Quicksilver, you attack for 1 every game. That is, though, not really a strategy. You could say that, okay, yes, once I get to 5 mana, I'll put a +1/+1 counter and a double strike counter on him. And a 2/2 double striker is a pretty good foundation for getting in a lot of commander damage. But having to pay 5 to do it is slow.
Actually, technically, if you cast him on the same... If you power him up the same turn you cast him, then it's 4 mana.
Yes, and 4 colorless at that, or 4 generic. However, do you want to wait until turn 5 to cast your 1 mana 1/1 with haste?
He's not that patient, and you shouldn't be either.
No, I mean, I would think that the whole point of playing this guy is that you can cast him on turn 1, hit somebody for 1 commander damage, and then the next turn you play something like, what is it, Monstrous Rage? Is that the card I'm thinking of?
I like what the suggestion box said when you typed monster.
Oh? It's in my search history, I guess. Who knows why? You'll never learn. So Monstrous Rage would be a way of giving him, yes, +2/+0 until end of turn, but also put a monster roll on him, where it gives him an additional +1/+1 and trample permanently. So Monstrous Rage seems like a great card in a Quicksilver deck, because on turn 2 he'll be attacking for 4 trample damage, and he'll be like a 4/2. And then if you can quickly follow it up,
and double strike.
Well, not yet, because you don't. This is only on turn 2. We still need to get 5 mana for him to have double strike. So for that, your best bet is Seething Song, and that turns 3 mana into 5, and then you can power him up. So if you manage to get the nut draw of Quicksilver into Monstrous Rage, into Seething Song, into Power Up, then you are doing well. And if you don't, you are not.
That's a lot of ifs.
So honestly, I think you could set this as a challenge to yourself, because you just like you want to build a deck that kind of is make or break. But I don't think it's viable at all.
Might be fun, probably not viable.
And the question is, if you play him in the 99, you have a chance of getting him on the battlefield for free. And you're also then more likely to draw him later in the game, where you might have your 5 mana. So when would you want to do that? I'm thinking your best bet is going to be in a deck with that Hulk. There's so many Hulks, but...
Which one?
This one. What?
Sorry, I just saw a mushroom and I was like, how did you get here?
Half of those Hulks are not from Marvel. There are other things happen to be hulking. But power-up abilities of other creatures you control cost 3 less to activate. I think this is the deck that you want him in. So I think I'm going to put him in sidekicks, but way low down on here. If you get him in your opening hand, you'll get in like a couple of damage that people won't be able to deal with. And if you get him late, then, you know, you really want to keep making this guy bigger if he's got double strike, blah, blah, blah. You got to build up on him. So, tough. Probably not worth it. Next, we have Red Guardian, Super Soldier. He was in Thunderbolts, although he doesn't look quite like this.
And he was a riot in Thunderbolts. I loved him so much.
And in Black Widow, too. Did you see Black Widow?
No.
He's good in that, too.
Oh, okay. I might see it if he's in it.
Yeah. All right, so what does he do?
For 2 mana and a white, you get a 2/2 human soldier villain with Flash. When Red Guardian enters, destroy target creature an opponent controls that dealt damage this turn.
Huh. Well,
Oi, did you hit me? Screw you.
you fight for your nation, Captain America. I fight for mine. uh, David Harbour is doing a corny Russian, like Soviet Union accent in these movies, and it's honestly pretty fun, given that it's a character that was definitely made as like a Cold War cheap knockoff of Captain America, and he's just
Like
now
in universe and out of universe.
yeah, and so it is now funny in as a throwback to be like, oh, these kind of this cornball character from decades ago.
And that's just kind of how they play him, and it's
Yeah.
actually kind of sweet. Like, aww.
Yeah, he's the cornball dad or uncle figure of the team now, so that's wonderful.
He's the embarrassing uncle, and they love him.
Who clearly had his heyday they loves talking about. Now, as a commander, Garbador.
Yeah, no.
Flash is typically bad on commanders because Flash is best as a surprise. Entering and destroying one thing is not good unless you're flickering. White can flicker, but this isn't worth doing. The creature has to actually hit you in order for you to get its ability.
Strikes me a bit
ouch.
like closing the barn door after the horse got out.
Yeah, okay.
I wonder if you could make a Thunderbolts deck with these.
Oh, you kinda can. And also I was thinking, okay, well, Flash and all these things, this could be a good piece in the 99 of, like, I don't know, a hero deck. Wait, he's not a hero, he's a villain. He is gonna be right at the bottom of sidekicks because I think that this would be a good effect if you're flickering him or having him die and come back repeatedly, given that the rate's okay, you are destroying a permanent, but he has to have like villain synergies going on, and there's only like I think that there's like 2 villain decks that can include white, so tough.
Sorry, buddy.
Hey, you're lucky that you didn't end up in reject because you clearly need work. Next we have Red Hulk, who is not taking caution with these flammable contents.
Come on!
It says right there, can you read? Anyway.
For 4 mana and 2 red, you get a 6/7
Don't do it. Don't do it. We're moving on.
Gamma Berserker villain with reach and trample. His ability is called Enrage. Whenever Red Hulk is dealt damage, put a 1/1 counter on him. When you do, he deals damage equal to the number of 1/1 counters on him to any other target.
So this is an uncommon, which means that in limited, like pre-release events, like sealed and draft and stuff, he's kind of a bomb. That games in limited tend to go longer because they're just not very efficient decks. This guy, if you get him in your pool and red is a workable color, as one of your primary colors, do that. As a commander, I don't think that there's much appealing here. You're playing monocolor. You have a commander who wants to attack but doesn't have haste or any kind of defensive ability that'll keep him alive for the turn that he has to lose summoning sickness. He's coming out on turn 6. You can ramp him a bit with some rituals, but the Enrage ability, red is the best color for triggering Enrage on your own creatures. But he deals damage equal to the number of counters on him, not like equal to his power, so the first time you're going to deal 1 damage.
Very impressive.
It is to any other target, but still, all these things are a little undertuned for, for an actual commander. So he's not super, and he's not a wild card. Question is he even a sidekick? Because I think this card's actually, like, not weak. It's just not a good commander. But then the only other places I can put him are reject or sidekick. And if he's a sidekick, what deck does he go in the 99 of? I don't know, because I would say ideally you'd have a deck that has a better Enrage creature on it. That's the one search I should do then. So let's look for a legendary creature that includes red and says enrage. How many are there? Okay. Well,
5.
that's in his name.
6.
Okay, yeah, that one's in his name, so it doesn't count. But, these ones kind of count. Okay. Phew. Red Hulk, you have been saved from the reject bin. You do get to go in sidekicks, and you're kind of strong, actually. So
I think
I'm
you owe your
thinking,
enemy
like,
an apology.
Who? Me? Him?
Him.
Him. Yes.
He's an enemy to the regular Hulk.
Yes, he is. In the comics, he's Thaddeus Ross, Betsy Ross's dad, who's always had a rivalry, or he's always been pissed at the regular Hulk, and then eventually he's like, screw it.
Well, to be fair, if my daughter was dating the superhero that notoriously gets angry and destroys everything, I'd be scared too. Like,
Yeah.
sweetie, maybe don't. Please.
Yeah. We're moving on to Reptile Dinomorpher, one of the characters I know nothing about. Absolutely jack. But what do they do?
For a single green, you get a 1/2 human hero with 2 powers. The first one is Brontosaurus. For 3 mana until end of turn, Reptile becomes a dinosaur hero with base power and toughness 3/5 and gains vigilance and reach. And Tyrannosaurus Rex. For 6 mana until end of turn, Reptile becomes a dinosaur hero with base power and toughness 6/6 and gains trample. Okay, that actually is pretty fun.
Okay, that is fun. That looks like it might be either Devil Dinosaur, even though he's like glowing orange, so I can't be sure what color the dinosaur is like in theory, but it looks like it's like this orange energy. Or this could be in the Savage Lands, but they're a human hero, so they're not like a mutant or an inhuman or something. I got nothing on this. 3 mana to turn into a 3/5 vigilance reach is neat, but only until end of turn. I don't know, not terribly exciting.
You can also do that at instant speed, though, so you could do some fun things with that.
Yeah, you can do it on your opponent's turn in response to things. And the commander coming out on turn 1 is kind of a big deal, because if you're playing equipment, auras, anything like that, you can play some really low-to-the-ground stuff and start loading them up on like turn 2 and attacking before anybody's ready. So there are some appeals to this. However, those abilities are kind of bad. This is a commander that can become a 6/6 until end of turn for 6, instead of just paying 6 mana for a 6/6 permanently. You have to pay it every turn. And sure, green's the best color at like ramping and stuff like that, but you have to ramp just in order to keep your commander turning into a dinosaur every turn. It seems really bad. Actually, and you're stuck with playing just one color. I gotta put him in rejects.
Such a pity. The mechanics and his card theming are actually fun. A little bit of tweaking, and that could be extremely good.
Yeah, I was hoping that he was more like Figure of Destiny, an old-ish card now that was pretty popular back in the day, where you can spend 1 mana to turn him into a 2/2 permanently. And then if he's already a 2/2, you can spend 3 mana to make him a 4/4 permanently. And then if he's already a 4/4, you can spend 6 mana to turn him into an 8/8 flying first striker permanently. So I thought that it was like leveling up like that.
That guy has come into contact with a biblically accurate angel.
Yes, he has. He's seen some shit. But Reptile, on the other hand, hasn't seen that much shit. Because he turns into those things temporarily and at a pretty okay rate for draft and stuff. So, no, don't
Sorry,
do
buddy.
it.
You're
Don't do
cool, but you need to fine-tune yourself a bit.
Yeah. Next we have Rick Jones, Destined Sidekick, which I believe he is initially the best friend of Bruce Banner, who, if I remember right, in issue like 1 of The Incredible Hulk, Rick Jones is about to himbo bumble his way into a nuclear test site and get killed.
Oh no!
And Bruce Banner like knocks him out of the way and catches the blast instead. And then Rick Jones has been forever grateful to the Hulk and his various friends for saving his life.
He is kind of cute, though, in a puppy dog sort of way.
Yeah, he's a golden retriever boyfriend, right? So what does he do?
Well, for a single green, you get a 0/3 human advisor. For 3 mana and a tap, you mill 4 cards. You may put a hero or enchantment card from among those cards into your hand.
Marvell, did you know I once saved Hulk's life? Hulk, go on. You tell it better than I do. I love the food. What? This is like... What is all this? Are these raspberries really close? Are these pomegranates that have been opened or something? I don't know, but we got apples,
both,
grapes. Actually. He's clearly holding like somebody's Starbucks order. Wait, Captain America's back there with Falcon? This is a lovely little bistro that they've chosen. Okay.
Such a pretty card, but
yeah.
The effect?
The effect is okay. It's okay. You know what? I think I'm probably going to put him up around like here in sidekicks.
Honestly,
I mean,
it's
destined
in the name.
Sidekick.
Hey,
Yeah,
we gotcha.
This most clearly fits what I was talking about in the beginning. A 1 mana 0/3 that comes out on turn 1. You just don't want this as your commander, of course, but being able to mill cards and then put them back into your hand, this seems very helpful for a hero deck or an enchantment deck. Because really, you shouldn't think of this so much as milling 4 cards. Excuse me. You should think of this as looking at the top 4 cards and drawing a hero or enchantment card from among them.
Yeah.
The rate's not great, but there are certainly some decks where you're either digging for heroes or digging for enchantments, and he'll do a pretty good job. You can do it at instant speed, so if you got nothing better to do at the end of your opponent's turn, do it. So just keep in mind that kind of deck. It should be a hero or enchantment themed one where you think you might have 3 mana left over at the end of somebody's turn. Sometimes.
Man, just looks like he's a ray of sunshine.
Yeah. Next, though, we go into the opposite of that, a ray of dark shine. This is Ronin Shadowstalker, which is a secret identity that I will spoil for you, is one of Hawkeye's secret identities.
Really?
Yeah, in between Avengers
Hawkeye decided to play with swords for a while.
Infinity War, between Infinity War and Endgame, that 5-year gap, this is what Hawkeye is doing with his family, deleted.
Playing with swords.
Yeah, there's a scene where you see him doing that, and then, the team's like, come on back, be a hero again. Anyway, what does he do?
For 2 mana and a black, you get a 3/3 human rogue hero.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay 2 life, you can add 2 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to cast equipment spells or activate equip abilities. Activate only once each turn. Or, you can tap and sacrifice an equipment attached to Ronin. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. Activate as a sorcery.
Okay, so this one immediately jumps out with some challenges for me to try to rate because I haven't seen abilities like this before, which my gut is, I think, to automatically rate that kind of high, because if a color is doing something interesting it hasn't done much before, that might be good even if the rate isn't good, just because it opens up some kind of niche, So paying 2 life, spend this mana to cast equipment spells or activate equip abilities, and you make 2 mana for 2 life. That's an incredible rate for anything else. Activate only once each turn. That's kind of fine. What's the only bummer about that is, I think I've mentioned before the card Cranial Plating is one of my favorites that I never get to use. It always comes just a little bit short in some way. And in this case, you're going to be playing an equipment deck. You can spend the mana to cast it, you can spend the mana to equip it, but you cannot spend the mana to attach it at instant speed because that's not an equip ability. So it is a little funny. I wish that this did say to cast equipment or activate abilities of equipment instead of activate equip abilities, but oh well. Okay, then this, and we're passing the vanilla test.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're tapping and sacrificing an equipment attached to Ronin to give a creature -4/-4 until end of turn. God, if that wasn't activating only as a sorcery. Okay, but since you have to tap Ronin to do it, I think that the most important thing to get on this guy is Vigilance. And so I think I'm going to do one search for equipment that you can play in black that add Vigilance.
Vigilance.
No, I got it right this time. Okay, you can't keep doing that to me. Equip equipment, and that you're allowed to play in black. And let's sort by the mana value, because it doesn't matter how prevalent it is in the colors.
Looks like we got a fair amount.
Yeah, we've got 22 to choose from. Equipping for 3 is pretty bad. There's one. Gives +1/+0 vigilance, and when the creature dies, if it's a human, you make a spirit. And wouldn't you know it, Ronin's a human. And a hero, but a human. This one gives vigilance if they're a human. Okay, so we've got this one. That's a lie, but Terrian Soul Cleaver does it. That works best on creature tokens. Okay, so we do have some options there. So put in a higher number of vigilance ones than normal. And I think I've decided where this guy needs to go. Sometimes I need to like talk it out to figure it out. He's going in wildcards. And I think he's going around probably here.
Also, Scorpion called. He wants his outfit back.
Get over here. Yeah, and I guess like Hawkeye's ability actually is basically exactly the same as Bullseye's ability, and that he's just like hyper accurate, and with analog weapons. So as long as there isn't any like electronics or machinery to it, not that great with guns, but really really good with a nunchaku or a shuriken. As we move on to Scientist Supreme of Ame.
For a blue and a black, you get a 2/2 human scientist villain. If you pay 2 life, you can copy a target activated or triggered ability you control from an artifact source. You may choose new targets for the copy. Activate only once during your turn. No, activate only during your turn and only once each turn. Mana abilities can't be targeted.
I like the flavor text.
A weapon to kill a god. Ame can do that if you have the money.
Yeah, so basically they are the like evil version of Stark Industries, in that they're technology developers who have no scruples, just like in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys would make a killing in our universe. Don't let them in.
Yeah. A 2-mana 2/2 means that they pass the vanilla test, not that they are going to make attacking the main thing they do. So you're copying abilities from an artifact source, and only once. So that means you got to have the craziest artifact abilities you've ever seen. What do we got here? What about like Chimil? At the beginning of your end step, discover 5. That's a pretty good one.
Woo! And spells you control can't be countered.
So discovering 5 means that you reveal cards from the top of your exile cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card with mana value 5 or less and cast it for free. Getting that twice is pretty cool. What else have I got? Nins something or other. What is it called? Oh no. Nins. Oh no. Okay, it's not in here. That's not what it is. Okay, I am struggling to think of supremely powerful artifacts off the top of my head, but there are a lot of them. Copying and you can't target mana abilities. Okay, I mean, there might be ways of like taking an extra turn, like Magistrate. Is that what I'm thinking of? Magistrate's Scepter. Can you read that one for us?
Wow, that's a Rigi Scepter. For 3 mana, you get an artifact. For 4 mana and a tap, you put a charge counter on the scepter. And for a tap and removing 3 charge counters, take an extra turn after this one.
Yep. So it should be a repeatable take an extra turn after this one where you just have to charge it up every turn. Oh, and by the way, you don't have to put charge counters on it with itself. You can play things like Energy... I don't remember what it's called.
You're really going to have to narrow that down.
Energy Chamber, where 2 mana at the beginning of your upkeep, put a charge counter on target non-creature artifact. Ta-da!
Okay, so we've established you can do some interesting things with this deck if you focus, but you're going to have to go absolutely ham on the artifacts.
The nasty thing here is, yeah, you can take an extra turn after this one, and then copy that ability to take another extra turn after this one, and that gives you 2 additional turns in a row to put more counters back on the Magistrate's Scepter. That is dangerously close to taking infinite turns and winning the game no matter what you do.
Sounds like this commander should go in bracket 4.
Yeah. I have one last card that I want to mention here, if
Marionette
I
has
can
one R.
spell Marionette correctly. Marionette Master. Whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to Marionette's Master's power. You can fabricate 3. There's a lot of things that have you like sacrificing artifacts, and I'm just saying a deck like this, you need to have ways to kill people. Marionette Master may be part of that, or Marionette Apprentice or something. So with that in mind, this seems like a wild card to me, but a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Like here. Honestly, you can probably do it, but the thing is that the most powerful artifact abilities are probably going to be on artifacts that cost a bunch of mana. So the Scientist comes out early, but the thing it copies comes out late, and there's a big gap in there. And people are probably going to kill the Scientist as soon as they see something worth you copying with it. So
You could have it copy
there's a
Soul
gap.
Ring.
Well, no, because you can only copy the abilities, and mana abilities can't be targeted.
Oh, abilities that. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
I was a little fuzzy on what mana abilities are.
yeah. But there's still a ton of things that you can do. So might even be super, but I'm thinking that little gap in there and not having like hexproof or ward or anything. If this had like ward and they have to pay, I don't know, 2 colorless or something, then this would be way better, I think. But we're moving on to Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu.
For 1 mana and a green, you get a 2/2 human warrior hero. You may activate abilities of creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. For a tap, you can add 2 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to activate abilities of creature sources.
Okay, only to activate abilities of creature sources. Okay, you know what this says to me?
What?
This says to me, this guy is going to be a crazy good sidekick in some deck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In some deck, your creatures are going to be jam-packed with activated abilities that they wish they had haste with. In some deck, making 2 mana and then, activating abilities of creature sources like, I don't know, power-up abilities or something is going to be really good. But it doesn't make sense to make that deck as mono green and for him to be the commander. No, I don't think so. But I have a deck with my commander being Raga Draga, where each creature you control with a mana ability gets +2/+2. Whenever a creature with a mana ability attacks, untap it. And wouldn't you know it, that's a mana ability.
Oh!
And my deck is full of other creatures that have mana abilities, and this gives them haste.
Are you going to add him to that deck?
100%, yeah. He's definitely going to be going in that deck. I can't say my hero in part because he's like definitely sidekick material. He's not going to be a new commander, but he is 100% going in the 99 because he's cool as a piece of a deck, not as the leader.
All right.
Oh, we have a She-Hulk.
Woo!
Jade Defender.
For 3 mana and a green, you get a 4/4 Gamma hero with Reach and Trample. And her power-up ability is that for 4 mana and 2 green, you can destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. Put a 1/1 counter on She-Hulk.
Okay, so we're passing the vanilla test with flying colors.
Yep. But that's kind of it.
Yeah, she's not very impressive as a commander because she doesn't encourage a specific strategy. She doesn't have a lot of synergies inherent to her. Honestly, she makes a ton of sense to be going in the Hulk Gamma Goliath deck again, the red-green power-up deck, where I think she's a pretty good sidekick. Actually, maybe somewhere around here as a sidekick. Because I think if you're playing her in that deck, you can power her up for less mana. Destroying an artifact or enchantment is a very useful ability to have in those decks. You can do this at instant speed, I think. Yes, you can do this at instant speed. So if you've got this guy as your commander, it costs 3 less to do. So now it's 3 mana, destroy an artifact or enchantment, put a counter on her. Being able to disenchant at instant speed is very powerful. So yeah. And with a name like Jade Defender, for some reason I'm thinking that she's sticking up for Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop brand.
No.
You don't think so? Because Jen Walters, I worry that she would be like, maybe she, you know what? She has to defend Goop in court.
Oh, that would be annoying for her. I know
Yes.
she'd hate it. And you just know that Gwyneth would be like, so, do you want to do a sponsorship deal with us? And she'd be like, no.
I would break your jade egg easily, and she's like, of course you would.
Jade is a porous material. I'm not putting it up there.
If the whole point is to increase the strength of your pelvic floor, there is no pelvic floor stronger than She-Hulk's. Moving on.
So, is she seeing anyone?
Hey. Actually, she is. She dates a lot of people, but I don't think she ever settles down. So, Shuri, Wakandan inventor.
For 1 mana and a blue, you get a 2/1 human artificer hero. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. For 1 mana and a tap, target artifact you control becomes a copy of a second target artifact you control until end of turn, except it isn't legendary. Activate only as a sorcery.
Okay, I think it's really a toss-up here between super and wild card, because making artifact spells cost 1 less is a really sick ability for a number of combos that are out there. I think I need to put her high, like probably around here, actually. And the most popular combo, the one I know the best, is a Sensei's Divining Top combo. Sensei's Divining Top costs 1, so with Shuri, it is free. And then it can tap to draw a card and put itself back on top of your library. So, but that alone isn't like a combo. What makes it a combo then is something like the Reality Chip, where it's another artifact, so she would reduce the cost on it. You can look at the top card of your library at any time, and if the Reality Chip is attached to a creature, then you can cast spells from the top of your library. You do that, and you have formed an infinite combo because you can cast the Sensei's Top from the top of your deck, tap it to draw what card was actually supposed to be on top of your deck, put the top back on top, and then cast it again for free. You can draw literally your entire library. And she is one of the 3 combo pieces in the command zone. Not only that, but she does other things. Oh my!
Dang, girl!
I still put her a little bit in wild card because you do have to put like some pieces together. It is a combo deck. And if you don't keep it a secret that you've built Shuri as a combo deck, then, you need to protect her. I think that she makes the most sense in bracket 4, where I think she's pretty good. It would be nice if she had more than 1 toughness instead of power. Yeah, so there's a lot of little things about her, but honestly, she's near the top of wildcards just because the main thing that she does is an infinite combo, and there are a lot of play groups where that's like not cool. The main thing that she's like really good at, especially good at, if you're not doing an infinite combo, then I think she's just kind of okay. And the infinite combo requires 2 other pieces, and you gotta dig for them, and she's a little vulnerable while you're doing it. So, we'll move on to Speedball New Warrior, who I know some lore about this guy, but we'll get back to it.
I actually don't. Wait, is his cat superpowered too?
I think so.
Oh my god. I've always wondered who this guy was because what is with the spots?
This is not... You're not confusing him with Polka Dot, are you?
No.
Okay. Well, what does he do?
Well, for 2 mana and either a blue or a red, you get a 2/2 human hero. Whenever a player casts a spell that targets Speedball, he gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You may choose new targets for that spell.
Okay, so as a magic card, super interesting. I need to get back to it. From a lore perspective, this guy, if I remember right, he's the leader of the team of New Warriors, which are a X-Men, Avengers adjacent team consisting primarily of teenagers who are live casting themselves, like they're vlogging, They're doing a reality TV
They're
show.
vloggers?
Yeah, so they have cameras that are following them around in real time as they do superhero work, and they're constantly going like, yo, chat, you think I should get this guy in the nuts?
The answer's always yes.
Yeah, okay, pow, got him. And but have you heard of the superhero Civil War?
Which, gonna have to narrow it down.
The one from the comics where it split the whole. Okay, yeah, it split like Iron Man versus Captain America,
Oh yeah, Civil
and
War.
everybody got divided among those lines. The Superhero Registration Act,
Oof.
all that stuff. His fault.
That was his fault.
His
How
fault.
was this his fault?
He had a mission where he was going to ambush a bunch of supervillains in a hideout, and succeeded. Found a bunch of supervillains in these hideouts, and then kind of for the views chased this one particular villain down who was about to get away because he's got super speed. So he goes and catches up with this guy, and he starts beating up this guy who I think his name's Nitro.
Nitro. Oh no, I know who that is.
Nitro, you know who that is. What is his power?
Exploding.
Yep.
He can destroy a city block.
Yes, he can. And in the art, in the panels where it shows Speedball beating this guy up and Nitro saying, like, don't make me do it, man, don't make me do it. And Speedball's like, get a good shot of this, guys, pow, pow, beating him up. What he's beating him up in front of is a school bus.
No.
They are, which is parked outside of an elementary school.
Oh, you dumb mother...
Nitro explodes and kills over 100 children. And that is
so
what...
Speedball is definitely going to jail.
Speedball actually joined the Thunderbolts.
Hopefully as a condition of his parole.
As a character named Penance who wears a suit of armor with spikes on the inside. Yep.
Yeah, okay. That's acceptable.
Yeah. So... Anyway, as a magic
But no,
card,
seriously, he should be in jail.
yeah. He's effectively like an overzealous cop kind of character, but also like someone who was obsessed with social media. Anyway.
Oh my god, you moron.
3-mana 2/2, obviously failing the vanilla test. Not a good fighter, right? Well, he also is in 2 colors, which is always good for commanders. He's uncommon. You would think he'd be a little weaker, yeah. But hexproof is a really good ability, right?
Yeah?
This guy has better than hexproof.
Oh yeah.
If anyone targets him, he gets bigger, and then you redirect it somewhere for free.
Yep.
If your opponents want to cast a Deadly Rollick to kill him, you've just gotten a free Deadly Rollick of your own, and he grew while doing it. And you can do that to your own spells. You can cast a series of spells aimed at him. Things like, I don't know, Expedite. Is that how you... Yes. Target creature gains haste until end of turn, draw a card. Okay, so you draw a card and you give him +2/+2 in haste until end of turn. Or you can play one of the Wisps. I don't know, Cerulean Wisps. For 1 mana, blah, 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 untap that creature, draw a card. So there's a lot of cards like this out there for like 1 mana where you can give him +2/+2 and draw a card, in addition to whenever your opponents might be casting spells.
Why is his kitty with him?
I don't know. He's a social media influencer. Of course he's posting like cat pics.
Yeah, but his cat appears to have the same superpower he does.
I guess. Yeah.
Protect the kitty.
Yes.
Throw Speedball in jail, though.
Yes. So I'm gonna
Prison,
say
actually. I should emphasize prison.
okay.
Put him in prison.
I'm gonna say Speedball is going up at the top of Wildcard. Because his ability's kind of insane, but also, what do you do to win the game with that? I don't know. Is it Furious something or other? I've been struggling with some card names today. Wait, is that it? No. Is that it? No. Well, there are some cards that will give him double strike for not a lot of mana. And that's probably what you want to do, because if you give him double strike, then you're also making him a 4/4 double strike for like 1 mana. And then do a couple more things like that, and he's probably lethal. Is that fun for you? Hopefully. Then we go on to Speed, Young Avenger.
Wow, creative.
I mean, he is canonically the other son of Scarlet Witch and Vision.
He takes after his uncle, I see.
Yeah, actually.
For 1 mana and a red, you get a 2/2 mutant hero with haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay 1 mana. When you do, target creature with haste can't be blocked. This turn's Bleh, I read that
The
all
emphasis
wrong.
is a little weird.
When you do, target creature with haste can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste.
Okay, so he's reminding me a lot of the Gingerbread Man.
You mean the ginger dead? No, wait.
I mean the Ginger Brute.
Thank you.
So Ginger Brute is a 1 mana haste 1/1, and for 1, this creature can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. You can't catch him unless you, unless you have haste.
Unless you make haste.
And this guy can do the same thing, except you have to cast a non-creature spell to do it. You can help your other creatures with haste, but that's pretty mid. I'm debating. I'm thinking maybe he could go around here with his uncle.
They can hang out.
Yeah, because you can build like an all haste deck. There is a new Capenna commander. I think their name's like Ignis or something cliche like that. Nope.
Wrong, Ignis.
Is it like Agnes? No? Maybe? Yes! It's Agnes! This is the actually good haste commander. If you want a deck based on haste, you want this as your commander. Why don't you read for us what this does, if you can even read the mana symbols.
For 1 mana, a black or red, a red, and a red or green, you get a 3/3 Vyashino warrior with haste.
Which has been errated to be a lizard warrior.
Whenever a creature you control with haste attacks, create a tap treasure token.
Ta-da! That's a reason to play creatures with haste. In which case, in an Agnes deck, it makes sense to put speed in there because you can make those creatures unblockable. That's really the only deck that you should play them in.
It's a good thing you were able to find Agnes, because you would have had to try Agnes and Ugnus next.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't get it in 2, I'd be like, trust me, there's one out there. And we go on to, what's this?
Spider-Man!
we have more Spider-Mans. By the way, we officially have more cards depicting the character of Peter Parker in Magic than any original Magic character. Yeah,
That's
more
going
than
to-
Urza, more than Gerard, more than Jace Bellerin or Chandra Nalaar. Chandra, by the way, is the #1 for in-universe characters. But we have more cards depicting Spider-Man than we do any Magic original characters. So
That's going to annoy some fans, but I don't care. I like Spider-Man.
yeah. All right. Well, this one's to the rescue.
For 2 mana and either a green or a white, you get a 3/2 spider-human hero with flash, vigilance, and reach.
Oh.
And his ability is no one dies. When Spider-Man enters, you may tap him. When you do, another target non-attacking creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn.
Okay, so this is another one where, like, obviously you don't want to have him as your commander, not just because he has flash, because, like, you don't want to have, like, a hard, fast rule in your head that, like, if a legendary creature has flash, then it's bad as a commander. It's not necessarily the case, but especially when he has a trick. Tricks like this, and keep this in mind for, like, pre-release events and stuff like that, if you're, like, a middle-of-the-road Magic player. Tricks like this are best done when they are timed very carefully to maximize the advantage you get from it. So, giving a creature indestructible is great in response to, like, a removal spell, but it's even better if you get it into, like, a bad block where both creatures will die, like a trade, and then you can surprise save your creature and kill your opponent's creature at the same time.
Surprise, not today!
Yeah. Because otherwise you might not have blocked, but if you have Spider-Man to the rescue in your hand, do that bad block and save your creature. Stuff like that. But most of the time he's going to save one creature. But being a Vigilance Reach 3/2 for 3 with Flash, that's all pretty good stats. So actually, he is a sidekick, but he's a pretty good one. He's also kind of a one-time trick. So I'm leaning towards putting him, like, right around here.
Okay.
As we go on to Spider-Woman. Secret agent. That's right, she's a spy in this one.
And yet her Her outfit colors are yellow and red.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, for 3 mana, a white and a red and a blue, I can't talk.
It's all right.
You get a 1/4 spider human spy hero with flash.
It's a lot of creature types.
Yeah, it is. When Spider Woman enters, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature can't become untapped for as long as you control Spider Woman. I'm not friendly, and this isn't my neighborhood.
Okay, so she seems, once again, awesome in sealed. If you open her in draft or in your pre-release kit or something like that, and either blue or white are looking pretty good, she is great because she's effectively a removal spell, and a like okay body at the same time. Um, I would say she has a more than okay body, but only 1 power apparently. So if she had more than 1 power, this card would be amazing in that format. But as a commander, garbage. Once again, we have a flash creature that just has an enter ability. You don't want that as your commander. As a sidekick, I rate her pretty low, but she does qualify because there is the hero theme. The hero theme includes white. Tapping down a creature permanently or for a long time is still a pretty good ability. You might want to have in the 99. So I'm going to rate her pretty low on the sidekicks, but maybe about like here.
All right.
We got a lot of sidekicks in here, but honestly, that makes sense considering that most of these legendary creatures are uncommons, which means that they're role players and not necessarily leaders. As we go on to Stature, Size Shifter, who you may or may not know this character.
I don't know this character, but I think I get the gist of her.
She's Cassie Lang, aka Scott Lang, Ant-Man's daughter.
Ah.
Yeah. So, what does she do other than wade knee-deep in the ocean and grab Doombots out of the sky?
For a single blue mana, you get a 1/1 human hero. Stature can't be blocked if her power is 1 or less, and her power-up is X blue blue. Put X 1/1 counters on Stature.
Flavor fail that she doesn't get a reach counter because clearly when she's big, she's grabbing flying creatures in the art. I mean, flavor fail anytime you see a creature in the art doing something that clearly the card cannot, like blocking a flyer. And blue could absolutely get reach. And this card is... Well, okay, so as written, she's a 1 mana, 1/1 unblockable. That has a lot of uses. There's a small chance she could see play in decks like Yuriko the Tiger Shadow. Yuriko the Tiger Shadow. Basically, ninjutsu, you need to have an attacking unblocked creature in order to ninjutsu your ninjas onto it. And Stature, she's right on par there with some of the best in that regard, and then has another ability. But I don't think this ability is particularly relevant for Yuriko decks. It would be more relevant if it was something like scrying or drawing a card or something.
And non-bows with her initial one.
Yeah, then she becomes not unblockable until end of turn. From that point on. So, I think because a 1 mana 1/1 unblockable is actually a really good starting point, I think she isn't going to go into rejects, but she's got to go pretty low in the sidekicks again. I'm thinking like around here. Because unfortunately, one of the main ways that you would take advantage of a creature being unblockable as a commander or even in the 99 is to put like equipment on it or something to make it bigger. But then she's not unblockable anymore. So what do? Double strike? Probably not. You're doubling 1. That's not very effective.
Flying?
Flying is redundant to the unblockable thing. I mean, your best bets are probably stuff like, reconnaissance mission. Yay! Stuff like reconnaissance mission. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of your best bets, and that's still not that crazy. Very, very normal Magic thing to be doing. So, we're moving on to the main set Storm after we saw the Commander set Storm the other day. This one is Storm Windrider.
Hell yeah. For 1 mana, a green, and 2 white, you get a 4/4 mutant hero with flying. Creatures with flying can't attack you or block creatures you control. Whenever you cast a spell that targets one or more creatures, those creatures gain flying until end of turn.
Honestly, this seems kinda sick.
Yeah, it's Storm. It oughta be.
Do 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 doop. Hell yeah. Look, so I mean, vanilla test
Passed.
with literally flying colors once again. In fact, oh, do we have an alternate art here? Ooh,
Oh, hell yes.
hell yeah. Okay. So creatures with flying can't attack you or block creatures you control. Flying is one thing that a lot of decks have vulnerabilities to. If you build your deck around like fairies or birds or something like that, you're just gonna roll certain players who can't deal with flying very well. This deck has the opposite problem. Those decks suck against you because their flyers can't attack you and they can't block your stuff. And when okay, here's the craziest part. When you cast a spell that targets a creature, giving them flying. Sure, giving your own creatures flying is always good, but you can sneakily give one of your opponent's creatures flying at the beginning of combat, and then it can't attack you.
So basically, you can pull some real nonsense with Storm.
Absolutely. So play lots of like 1 mana instants that can target a creature so that you can buff your creatures or do a pseudo goad on one of your opponent's creatures. You know, like people might play Impetus. People might play like a predatory Impetus or something, you know, to make one of your opponent's creatures bigger and then it has to attack somebody else. Well, Storm can do the exact same thing over and over again to potentially multiple creatures. Just target one of them with anything, they gain flying, and now if they want to attack anyone, it has to be somebody else. She seems, and that also seems like fun, honestly. Your opponents will still get to attack, just not you, so that's an effective strategy. She's efficient. She gives you things to do. Yeah, I love this.
Children meet mother.
Oh, yes. Okay. Next we have Super Adaptoid, who I don't remember, but there he is doing some stuff.
Seems to be taking on the powers of every single Avenger, so he's probably one of those weird combo villains.
Yeah, he's got a hammer that looks like Mjolnir, a shield that looks like Captain America's. He's got wings. He's got like the power source in the center of his chest.
He has Captain America's stripes in his costume as well.
Yeah. So, what does he do in Magic the Gathering?
For 2 mana, you get an asterisk 2, robot villain. Super Adaptoid's power is equal to the number of legendary creatures you control. Whenever Super Adaptoid enters or attacks, choose another target creature. If that creature has haste and Super Adaptoid doesn't, put a haste counter on Super Adaptoid. Do the same for flying, first strike, double strike, death touch, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance.
Whew, that's a pretty good list. Among the best there, of course, are going to be double strike and indestructible. Lifelink and flying are also pretty relevant. So the trick is here, is this guy a viable commander?
That is going to be a hard sell because this guy doesn't just want legendary. If he's commander, you're going to need legendary colorless creatures, and that's a tall ask.
Exactly. I've always said that commanders with one color limit you a lot. Commanders with no color limit you even more. And then he does have a neat synergy with legendary creatures, but only the colorless ones. So, I think the question here is, how many legendary creatures in colorless have keyword abilities? Is he viable? I will not be able to search. Okay, this is going to be our last guy for today.
We got places to be.
Yep, I will not be able to search for keyword abilities per se, but how many legendary creatures are there in colorless? And let's sort them by EDH Rec. I bet there's quite a few. Yeah, okay, so there's 49. And I would guess that there's at least a handful in here that are, like, not even legal. And then a handful more that are garbage. and then a handful more that are way too expensive, and then a handful more that don't have any relevant keywords.
I would like to
But
point.
they're there.
I would like to point to Marvin the Murderous Mimic.
Yeah, actually, he's very similar to Marvin in a way. They're kind of counterparts, opposite sides of the same coin, because Super Adaptoid gets more power and gets more keyword abilities. That's what he's useful for. Marvin steals all the activated abilities, which is also cool. So, yeah, I mean, we've got some in here with Indestructible and Menace and Flying and, ooh, Trample and, so they're in here.
Hey, Sir Ginger!
Yeah, she's got a bunch of those abilities if an opponent controls a Planeswalker.
But that's a pretty big if.
Yeah. So we got some stuff. I would definitely play the Warring Triad in there, even though they won't always be a creature. So, ooh, Jesus, Krang. Okay.
Plus, Super Adaptoid does have something. It says target creature. And this is one of those instances where you are maybe depending on what your opponents are playing, but keywords are pretty common.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I see what you've just shown me. I didn't. It doesn't say target creature you control. It says target creature. Okay, I take it back. This guy's cool. Okay. I was about to put him in like maybe sidekick or something, but okay. Now the question is he a wild card or super? You know what? I'm gonna say he's super.
Yeah.
I'm probably at the bottom of super, but you do want to play as many legendary creatures in your deck as possible because that will still set his power. So you're gonna have a hard time with like Kozilek. But if we switch this over to mana value, you can play this guy for 2, this guy for 1, this guy for 2. Marvin goes in the 99. Heck, throw in Paige for once. Paige is a garbage commander, but it's a legendary creature and it taps for colorless, so it counts. Hell, Spider Slayer is garbage, but at 2 mana, get it in there, and you add more power to this guy. Honestly, that could be pretty fun.
Yeah. Gotta hand it to Super Adaptoid. He's beating the odds here.
Yeah, I hesitate to put him in super, but yeah.
But bottom of Super?
Ooh.
That's where you put him.
Oh, sorry. I hesitate to put him in my hero, but in super, definitely. I think I still don't want to play an all colorless deck, but
But if you're into that kind of thing, then this is feasible.
And it's not the normal kind of colorless deck, because usually colorless has 2 themes: artifact synergy and Eldrazi synergy. And he actually says, don't focus on that. And that's legit. So, yeah. And next time we'll start off with Super Scroll. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. I don't want you to know. Don't be thinking about it. We'll think about it next time as we wrap up today. And we'll catch you in the next one, part 5. Whew!
We're actually making pretty good time.
Yeah. Well, we'll catch you next one, everybody.
Bye-bye!